Hi, guys. Welcome to the new episode of Footy Banter and Insights. The January transfer window has just opened, and we are midway through the season of 2024-25. So we are going to review and give our opinions on whom we think is the best signing in the EPL in the first half of the season, and then maybe at the end of the season we can go back to these names and see if they have continued their trajectory. So the format is Varun, Rishabh, and I. We three each get one pick, and then we'll ask our viewers to vote whom amongst the three is the best one. So, Rishabh, would you like to start?
Yes, so I think considering the position that Nottingham Forest finds itself, I'm going for Nottingham Forest centre back Nikola Milinkovic. I think he's from Fiorentina. I'll give you. I think he got bought from for 15 million, I suppose, 15 or 18 million. Yeah, yeah, 12 million from
Varun, our
Fiorentina.
fact check man, can you check the stats for Nikola Milenkovic
Yeah, I
for
think
us,
he's
please?
bought from no. So I did check it. So he's from Fiorentina. He got for 12 million, and he and Murillo, the center back pairing, have done a great job of maintaining clean sheets and not conceding too many goals, to the point that at the half stage of the season, we are looking at them being second, 6 or 8 points behind Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool has a game in hand. I mean, you still think of it, they are still in the title race. But for them to be second and leading the Premier League table, being that high in a year where they were destined to get relegated, I think it's one of the signings of the season. And we didn't expect Nottingham Forest to be there. To be very honest, we would say a mid-table finish, 10th, 11th, or maybe 9 to 11th position finishes like the best position that they can do. For them to be second, I think it's credit where it's due. It needs to be given to the players, particularly him, because they were conceding a lot many goals last season, and also to the manager Nuno as well, because he's transformed that team to greater heights.
Yeah, Milenkovic has, as I've shared before on our podcast, that he was one of my favorite players in Football Manager. Available for cheap, solid guy, good defender, good in the air. If you're starting with a team that's not playing a very high line, he's a perfect centre back to have just to push you up on the Premier League table and improve the quality of the team. I don't know in a high pressing, high line team how good he'll be, but for Nottingham Forest, he's perfect. Varun, any thoughts on Milenkovic?
I think if Rishabh wouldn't have gone for him, he would have been my signing of the
And mine
for the
too,
summer as
actually.
well. Sorry.
Wow.
Mine too. I'm
Yeah.
now
So
struggling to find the second one.
same here. But on that point, I think when the summer transfer window ended, there were a few players which I was really eager to watch. One of them was Man City Savinho, right? I was really eager to watch, and I heard a lot about him, and a lot of people were saying a lot of praises about him, right? So, but unfortunately, I don't think he's got enough minutes till now for us to kind of judge him completely. And whatever little I have seen of him, I see a strong potential with that person, with that player, right? The second player I was really looking forward to see was Calafiori for Arsenal. But again, due to injuries, etc., he hasn't got a lot of minutes as well. So again, the jury is out on him. Um, Apart
So
from
give us
that,
your one player, Varun.
I would say, yeah, because I can't find that other really, really player, another real signing that has lit up the Premier League so far. I would actually go for Raya because we technically signed him this summer. And Raya for us has been a very pivotal member in our team, at least in Arsenal. And he has pulled off
Hmm.
some great saves and kept us in a lot of games this season. So I think technically, I mean, of course, not a new player, but as a signing, I would say he for me was a great signing for us this year. But yeah, apart from that, I think again, like I would just say one shout out to like Mazarawi as well. I think When United signed him, I didn't kind of think too highly of him at that point. But having seen him play, excluding the last two games, I think he did pretty reasonably well in a mediocre United team.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So, so I agree that Raya has been very pivotal for Arsenal, uh, and their performances, and the fact that they are still sort of hanging on in the Premier League title race right now. And Varun, if you had a choice to swap Raya for any other keeper in the world, is there anyone whom you would swap him for?
Not right now. I think he's in a great form, and I think there are few things that work really well for him. So I really liked Ramsdale, uh, who was with us before Raya. But having seen Raya now, I know I can see why Arteta and the team management actually prefers him over Ramsdale. So Raya is much better with the feet. His ability to kind of protect the defense in set pieces and coming out and getting the ball is extremely impressive. I have seen this countless number of times that he has done this in corners, in free kicks, that he has come out, gathered the ball cleanly, and set us off for a counter attack. Right. So I think that is something great about him, his ball handling in the air, and he is a equally good shot stopper. So if you ask me from a shot stopping point of view, Ramsdale was like say nine, Raya would be 8.5, but that's not much of a difference. But I feel in terms of the ball playing ability and the ability to kind of be solid in the air on set pieces, Raya is significantly better than a lot of keepers, in fact. So yeah, I
So
wouldn't
let's say
exchange it for anyone at this point.
like a Courtois or like a Ter Stegen, you would not
No, I
exchange
wouldn't.
him for this.
I wouldn't, and not
Okay.
at this point.
Rishabh, your thoughts on Raya?
I think he's done well, but I think if I genuinely have to kind of exchange a keeper,
You
exchange
genuinely have
Raya.
to, yeah.
If I have to, I think I'll go
Mm-hmm.
with the Liverpool ka second keeper, Koeman Keller. I think he's actually he's decent with his feet, but his stopping abilities is pretty much second to none. Like he's in the last 11 games that I think Allison was injured because of a hamstring pull. I think he kept 7 or 8 clean sheets. So I think that's one player. He's young. I think Raya is about 28, 29. Keller is about 24, 25. So I think an upgrade and a much and goalkeepers can easily play for a long time. So I mean I could compare that. Just to come back on another signing that I think that if the jury allows, I think Liverpool did a brilliant signing by getting in Slot. Like I think nobody thought.
You've taken my choice again.
I thought we
Sorry,
were
buddy.
talking players.
No, but best signing of the season, right? But again, getting Slot also was like like if you looked at the season, like at the end of the season, you thought Slot is coming. Okay, so City wins the league. Slot will be roundabout top four. That'll be a great start, and then he can take it forward from there. For him to win 22 of his 26 games, top of the Premier League, I think miles away. Top of the Champions League, uh, Carabao Cup semi-finals, FA Cup is yet to start. I know. I think Liverpool fans also didn't even envisage what sort of a manager are they getting. And now that they have you, I think that if they win all four of it, and I think that's the way it's looking. I think that'll be a great signing for the season.
No, 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 it's okay. I think winning all four titles is extremely difficult. A lot of people are surprised because no one really knew much about Arne Slot because he's like managing in the Dutch league and like there's not much media coverage and his teams were not playing in the Champions League, right? But like even the Liverpool management, I believe, would not have expected such a fantastic start that they had when they chose Slot, like Michael Edwards, when he chose Slot, even he would not have imagined that the team would have such a start under this guy. So that just shows that despite being in a relatively good environment, coming into a team which has sort of had a bit of a transition already, and it has like three generational players in Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent. coming into that kind of a team, and despite that, no one expected such results, just talks phenomenally about what good work Slot has done. What do you think, Harvani?
I think he's done an amazing job. Yeah. I think, as you said, right, no one expected it. So yeah,
Would
man,
you swap
it's totally
Arteta
out
for
of
Slot?
the
Would you swap Arteta for Slot?
Wow, what a question to ask, huh?
no,
No.
no.
Why not?
I feel it's too early to judge him.
That
I
I
feel
agree
We've,
it's
with too. Like, sample size is
I
too
feel
small.
yeah, sample size
no,
is
I
too
think
small, and
I think it's
I
26
feel it
games is a
also.
good sample size. 26 game is a good sample
No.
size. I'm telling
अरे
you.
No,
नॉर्मल
also
तो
Slot,
like
टीम के लिए भी 30 चाहिए रहता है यार स्टैटिस्टिकली.
huh, but look, you look at, okay, so I'm coming in between, so I'll tell you this.
but
So I think
also
you,
like Rishabh, the difference is the evolution of the teams, right? Like where Arsenal was when Arteta came in, and where Liverpool was when Slot came in is also very different. So like you cannot really judge based on just the first 26 of Slot and the long period of
no,
Arteta.
no, there are two things. So
Uh-huh.
I'm not looking in terms of aesthetics and the results. I'm looking at the way the team plays. So I think Klopp was a lot more gung ho, like press, get the third, get the fourth, get the fifth. With Liverpool, with Slot, what's happening is if it's 2-0, if it's happening, if the third goal is happening, great. But they aren't really pushing. It's not like they're dropping their intensity in terms of defending or controlling the game, but they're not pushing for it. The second thing is this becomes a major point when you get to the latter stages of the season, because at that point you will need all your energy for Champions League if they go further. Second, he's improved 3 to 4 players within like 2 to 3 months. Like you look at Gravenberg, you didn't really know what you would get from him. It was a good 35 million buy. Of course, it's peanuts in this market, but to get him to play where he's playing right now, I think he's done a phenomenal job. Look at Gakpo also. Last season he couldn't get into the club side, and now he's just as they say slotting into the left hand side pretty easily and scoring goals. And it's not like the efficiency is not there. He's scoring goals for fun. So I think you look at it. No doubt, Arteta has done a great job. I think from where Arsenal were to where they are now, I think they've come a long way. I think it's the next step that Arsenal needs to take, and I think for that slot could have been if there's a swap. I think
I think like I again feel that it's not a fair comparison. Not even fair. It's not like the right because we need to see like the team will have a blip. Like when things are good, everyone is playing well. Like and all the performances are magnified. So I think we should wait and see what happens whenever they have like a
they
major
suffer a
blip,
blip.
and then how they come out of it, what kind of performances and fight the players show. Not
Sure.
dissing Slop at all. As I said, he was one of my choices for the signing of the season.
And
And
yet you
then
dissed him.
yeah, now everyone can be criticized here,
True.
but yeah. So now coming to my pick, yeah,
Sorry,
please,
Manan,
yeah, yeah.
before you move ahead, so just a quick point on Slot versus Arteta, right? So
Mhm.
I just feel that Arteta is not sometimes given his due credit because he actually revamped this team completely from where it
Mhm.
was,
Mhm.
right? And it's not an easy thing to do in football, like we have seen, right? Like we have seen United struggle with manager after manager trying to do the same thing. It's not that easy to change that whole character of a team. And given the fact that Arsenal also had that whole phase of being a team under a 20-year-old, 20 under being managed by Wenger for 20 years or something like that,
Mhm.
right? And then coming out of that kind of a phase to kind of change the team, the attitude, the way they play, etc., etc., it's not an easy job. And I think Arteta did a great job with that. Coming to Slot, I think he's done a great job. But people are forgetting that he actually inherited a team that is excellent already,
Mhm.
right? People are forgetting that I think last year entering Feb or March, Liverpool were top of the table or something like that, right? And they were kind of title contenders last year. So it's not as if Sloth has inherited a team which was mediocre or above average. They were championship title challengers, basically, right? And these are the players that have won the title before. These are the players that have won Champions League before. So it's not as if he has inherited players who don't know how to win, right? He's inherited a very good team, the revamp of the midfield as well was done by Klopp last year, where he signed the midfielders, right? He signed Gravenberch,
McAllister, Szoboszlai.
McAllister, Saboslai was all signed by Klopp
Mendo.
last year. That yes, last year was a year where these midfielders actually took time to settle in. They were at one point top of the table as well and challenging for the title, right? So we should not forget that when we're talking about Slot. Again, nothing taking away from Slot. He's done a great job, but I think it is still early days to kind of say that he's
Yeah,
that great a manager.
I echo your views completely. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man, your
now
player.
like yeah. So since Rishabh has taken our first choice and probably the only pick that one can think of, you had
Yes.
your cheating pick. I was going to have my cheating pick as Slot, but then that was also taken away by Rishabh from me.
Yep.
So
That's how it
I have
works.
like a even more cheating pick now. So I want to go for
Really?
Sandro Tonali. He was signed by Newcastle last year, but he was pretty much immediately banned
Yeah.
from football for
Betting.
some betting related infractions, and he's come back after in the second or third month, I think from end of September or October, to the Newcastle team, and he's taken a bit of time to settle. But over the past 1 month, we have seen the kind of impact that this player can have and the kind of quality he has. Ever since, like, he's so good that Gimaresh has had to move from the sixth role to the eighth role, and that is saying something, right? Like a manager moving his best player away from his best position to accommodate another player. Tonali was touted to be the next Pirlo when he was at AC Milan. Of course, both like Pirlo was at Milan, Tonali at Milan again, and the similar hairstyle, long hair and stuff. So Tonali was that, and then he's just come to Newcastle and transformed the team. There's a big uptick in the results as well. So yeah, my pick is Sandro Tonali.
Not a bad pick. I like the player
Mhm.
and the way he actually plays. I think he's a great player, but a little unreliable, I feel. So
In what way?
just
He's
off
going
the
for
field
betting.
antics, I feel.
And he's going for betting only.
Off the field antics is what I mean.
Young guys make mistakes. Yeah, Varun, come on.
I
Let it.
know.
So we'll see how his career shapes up and if there are any further off the
Yeah.
field infractions, or maybe he's learned his lesson. But
What
yeah. So yeah, go
What do
ahead.
you guys think of Dominic
Sterling Brown.
Solanke at Tottenham?
Dominic
I don't
Solanke.
have the stats on him, like how many goals or assists that he has.
He scored about 7-8 goals. He's got
Yeah.
about 7-8 goals. Premier League only 7-8. Aesthetic, like again, like I said, it's for Tottenham. It's a little bit too like Kane would have been a perfect striker here. Like Kane would have been like the perfect striker because I think Ange needs like players who can score 4 goals from 4 shots. Solanke cannot because it's so gung ho. Their gameplay is so high, gung ho that it doesn't make like they will never have clean sheets in their life. They are bound to they'll also concede to Southampton sometime. It's not like they will not, but they'll also concede to them. So I think Dominic Solanke is a good striker, but again, in the system that they are playing, he needs to be much more clinical.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough games of Tottenham to make a reasonable assessment of Dominic Solanke.
Cool.
What do
Shall
you
we
think,
wrap up
Varun?
here? Sorry,
No,
what?
you also have to tell us about your views on Solanke now that you
No,
brought him up.
actually, I was asking because I have just seen couple of games. I've seen him play couple of games, and in those two games that I've seen, he's looked reasonably decent. So I wanted to check if you guys have had like an insight on him, which probably will be kind of better than what I have, because I was just going through the list of the signings, and then I came across his name. So hence the curiosity.
I have
So
a I want sorry,
uh,
continue.
no, no,
Continue.
bol. नहीं,
No,
yeah,
no, continue,
just
continue.
no, I was just
It's a
going to
fun.
say that I was thinking about Solanke maybe a week back or 10 days back about like the signing of Solanke, and but the context that I was thinking in was that Bournemouth has lost their top scorer and they are doing
Henry.
better. Like that was my thought. But yeah, anyway, Rishabh, what were you saying?
No, I think I want to know if you guys. It's going to be funny, but don't. Varun's laughing already. He knows where I'm going. I just wanted to know if you like the transfer from Chelsea to Arsenal. There was this player like really good. I still feel like 5 million is a little less for him. But what do you think about Raheem Sterling?
Worst
Guys,
signing of
if
the
you want
season.
to know our views on this signing, you can go to a previous podcast where we had a 1 hour discussion on this. The link will be in the description.
But
The
Madan, I want
moment
to ask you, given half the season is done,
Mhm.
would you prefer Xerxes or would you prefer Dominic Solanke?
As I said, I have not seen Solanke to be able to make an assessment. So right now, because Xerxes been so bad, I would obviously want to go say Solanke, but I really I cannot say. Like
what
I don't like I need to know both sides to be able to make a reasonable judgment. I just know that one has been so bad that you opt for the other.
But you have
no,
seen
but you
Solanke play last season, no? Or the season, like you
I
followed
actually
him a little.
never really have seen him play too much. Genuinely, genuinely, I've not really seen him play so
Easy
much.
cop out.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. As I said, like Xerxes has been so poor that you would tend to want to go for the other option because Solanke can only be as worse as Xerxes, right? Like he cannot be worse than that. So you would tend to want to go for that option because there's a potential upside. But I really haven't seen Solanke play to be able to make like a reasonable judgment call on
Okay, I have another question for you.
that. Yeah.
So, if a hypothetical scenario
Mm-hmm.
where you have an option to sell Rashford
Mm-hmm.
and terminate your loan deal for Sancho,
Mm-hmm.
good
would
question.
you do that or would you prefer to keep Rashford?
Normally, I would do that, but
Do
I
what?
really don't I would bring Sancho
Keep
back,
Rashford.
Okay.
but I don't see a place for Sancho in this system that Amorim is playing. So I feel that the problem would persist. Like if let's say we were playing with a proper left winger, then I would bring back Sancho in a hut over Rashford. But I really don't see like how good Sancho would fit in as an inside 10. So again, like it's like create like getting rid of one problem and then creating another one for yourself. That's my thought on it. I don't see him being a left wing
Fair
back
enough.
for
Fair
sure.
enough. Okay, let's just quickly do like 1 minute on which signing do you want for your team in this January window. Rishabh, let's start with you. Man City, one player,
Wow,
one
really,
player,
really. I
one player.
would want Zubimendi from Sociedad.
Zubimendi.
I think it's a very sweet deal. 50 million, pay them off, get him. Even if he doesn't want to come, just let him. Just get him here, because
Just like throw him a bag of money.
yeah, or give him or give him a oil well. We'll figure that out. But I think it's necessary that someone like him comes along, because he's like the perfect replacement for for Rodri, because he did it for Spain also in the Euro final. So I think he'll do well. So I think for me that would be one signing that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I don't have a particular name in mind. Like probably someone at left back. So I do actually. Alfonso Davies would be my ideal signing
Alfonso Davies.
from
Not bad. Not
Bayern
bad.
Munich.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think
Considering he's
he would.
free in the summer, I think good
No,
choice.
like even for January, like forget that waiting
No,
until
I think you
summer. I
get him for
think
20 million. It's a good deal. Even if you get him
and
for
if we
20
get him
million,
for 50 million, also we should get him. That's what I'm saying. Like we
okay,
need him.
fair,
We need
fair.
him. Yeah, I think he would bring a lot of change in the
fair.
way that we play and like probably help Amorim set up his system. What
I
about
mean,
you,
for me,
Harvani?
any striker or any left winger would be a priority. But given
Like,
that
would you
there
take
are no
Rashford?
good, what is that?
Would you take
भाई
Rashford?
तू छोड़ दे
There are
ना भाई
links,
नहीं चाहिए
but there are
Rashford.
links, but there are
No, there
links,
are
but
links. Genuinely, there are
there are
links. That's why
links,
I'm asking.
there are links. So Arsenal will buy him, but if they don't want to pay more than 25.
No, I think it will
25
be a low deal.
No,
भाई
no,
I
I
think it
think
will
it's
be
a
low.
no, I think it's a
25,000 भी
buy
नहीं देना
deal.
चाहिए उसके लिए.
नहीं वो no. Now we will not get into the Sterling Rashford wala
नहीं,
scenario
नहीं.
again. But I think it's a
Let's not
25 million.
recommend players to Varun. Varun, तू ही नाम
हाँ, absolutely.
बता.
But honestly, as I said, any striker or any left winger. Again, I've not thought about this. The question just popped to me. That's why I asked you guys as well. But
So let
if
me
you
put
put me
this
on
to
the
you.
spot,
What about Vlahovic?
I would take him. I would
You
take
would take
him.
him.
If you give me an option between Rashford or
Gyökeres,
Garnacho, I would go for Garnacho because I think both the players are in similar boat where Amorim is kind of left them out, right? So I would rather, as an Arsenal
But
fan,
let's
I would
talk
rather
about
want
available
Garnacho because
players.
he's a higher ceiling.
But we should talk about available players. I don't think Garnacho is
So
available.
Varun, Gyökeres or Vlahovic?
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres, no?
Yeah, yeah. But I don't think he's available either, not in this window. So,
Mhm. Only
and
for
I don't think
Apparently,
neither is Vlahovic available. So,
I think
no,
Vlahovic is
Vlahovic is
available.
available.
Yeah.
yeah,
Juventus are willing to sell him off.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you
this
pay
okay.
well enough, then they're gonna.
Yeah. Okay,
In fact, he was
three.
available in last summer also, Vlahovic. He is
Yeah.
less available now than he was in last summer, to be
No,
honest.
he's available. I think it doesn't matter if the price is right. He'll be available. My question is Gyökeres or Victor Osimhen?
Gyökeres.
Come on, it needs to be Osimhen.
No,
He's also 25. He's also 25, 26.
I know, but preference would be for Gyökeres for me.
Okay.
Just in terms of player attitude, yeah, I think that kind of becomes a very like it's a point that not a lot of people pay a lot of emphasis on, but I think it's a very important point to consider. The player attitude and its fit in the team.
So you
Yeah,
think Osimhen wouldn't fit, or Osimhen का attitude problem? I'm asking you.
attitude might be an issue, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Attitude
Fair.
might be an issue. So
Okay, so
on that
so
note, yeah.
Rishabh thinks Milenkovic is the best signing of the season. Varun says
That's
Raya, and I say Sandro Tonali. Varun and I have sort of sidestepped or played with the
Yeah.
rules a bit. But yeah, and Rishabh would like Zubimendi. I would like Alfonso Davies, and Varun would like Gyökeres, let's
Vinicius
say.
Junior. Vinicius Junior.
Let's make it realistic, boys.
Varun would like Gyökeres for Arsenal. Now, before we wrap up, guys, we three have said one player each that we would like for our team to have this January window. Which team would like have the biggest uptick if all three would join their teams this window?
Which
Wow,
team
good
would have the
question.
best
I
uptake?
think Man City.
Yeah,
Which team would have the best uptake
if all three of them join the clubs that we've asked them to join.
Arsenal any day. Arsenal any day. Not us. City still won't. But I'll tell you what, it's not only Zubimendi. We need to kind of have someone like a Florian Wirtz into it. So I'm that's why I said the CDM first, because at least we'll stop conceding goals, and then we finish top four, and then we go into the summer. That's
So,
the important.
Varun, if Gyökeres comes, do you think Arsenal like is close to winning the title?
If you would have asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have said we would have a really good chance. But unfortunately, Saka had a hamstring injury, because of which he is out for a few weeks now. Depends a lot
Until
on
March,
how he
isn't it?
recovers. Yeah,
Saka is out
yeah.
until March, isn't it?
Yeah, so
That's 2 months. Yeah.
at least 5 games or 6 games he'll be missing. I'm talking Premier League games. 5, 6
Okay.
Premier League games is what he'll be missing, and I think that can have a big impact on us. And that's why we might, even if we sign Gyökeres, a little difficult for us to win the league, I should say.
Brilliant discussion. A lot of fantasy is going on in this podcast in the second part. Guys, you know the signings that we've suggested and the best signing so far. Rishabh, again, just to repeat, Rishabh goes with Nikola Milenkovic, Varun goes with David Raya, and I go with Sandro Tonali. Let us know your opinion, who out of the three has been the best. And if you have any other name in mind or if we have missed any other player, do let us know in the comments.
Yes, and hit the like button, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.